Isn't it wild how some creators, they can get you hyped for something before you even have a clue what it is? It's not magic, I promise. It's actually a masterclass in engineering anticipation. So today, we're going to deconstruct exactly how they pull it off. I want you to really think about this for a second. What if there was a movie and you were already excited for it without seeing a single frame? No trailer, no poster, not even a cast list. Just an idea. And yet, you can already feel that pull, right? That intense curiosity. It sounds kind of impossible, but it happens. Okay, look at this. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. There. Did you feel that little jolt? It's just a name and a title. This film doesn't even exist. But for a split second, it felt real, didn't it? It felt massive, important. Your mind probably already started spinning, imagining what it could possibly be about. So, how can just a few simple words create such a powerful reaction? That's the big question we're going to tackle. See, that feeling you just had, it's not an accident. It is absolutely by design. So let's do this. We're going to reverse engineer that feeling piece by piece and really understand the architecture of intrigue. All right, first up, engineering anticipation. We're diving into the science behind this whole thing because that feeling, it's built on a foundation of pure psychology. Turns out there are 3 core pillars that all work together to build that excitement. First up, we've got mystery. I mean, a name like Nolan is basically a synonym for secrets, right? We've been trained by his movies to expect puzzles, to look for twists, to find hidden layers. So the second a new project gets announced, our brains just automatically frame it as this mystery box that we are dying to open. And then there's the promise of scale. A title like The Odyssey. I mean, come on, that doesn't just suggest a story, it practically screams epic. You immediately think of a grand journey, massive, real-world effects, and an experience that you can only get on the biggest screen imaginable. It taps right into that fundamental human craving for awe. And finally, the big one, concept. Nolan's movies are always built around these huge, mind-bending ideas, Dreams inside of dreams, time flowing backward, interstellar travel through wormholes. So a new title instantly makes us all ask the same thing. What's the big, crazy idea this time? What part of my reality is he going to flip completely upside down?
Well, there's actually a name for the engine that drives all of this. It's called information gap theory. Basically, all those things, mystery, scale, and concept, they work together to create this massive gap between the little bit we know and everything we want to know. And our brains absolutely hate that gap. Our curiosity just can't stand it. It demands to be filled.
Okay, so once you've built all that anticipation, how do you sustain it visually? How do you keep people hooked? Well, it's all about creating a language of motion. It's about translating those big ideas into images that feel alive, images that are constantly pulling you deeper into their world. It all starts with light. And look, we're not just talking about flipping a switch to illuminate a room here. This is about using dramatic, high-contrast light as a storytelling tool. It's about using light to guide your eye exactly where it needs to go, to reveal some crucial detail at the perfect moment, and to literally sculpt the world with intense focus. But here's the thing. Just as important as the light is the shadow. What's hidden away in the darkness is often way more powerful than what you're actually shown. Shadow is what creates tension. It builds that suspense. And it forces you, the viewer, to lean in, to try and see what's lurking just out of sight. It makes you a part of the investigation. And the final piece of this whole visual puzzle? Motion. Constant motion. Nothing is ever static. Every single image has this subtle push-in, or a slow pan, or a tiny shift in focus. It's this constant movement that keeps your eye locked in and creates this incredibly powerful feeling of immersion. This quote just nails the entire philosophy. The audience feels the world is real because the camera is moving through it, not just observing it. Think about that. The camera isn't just some passive observers sitting on the sidelines. No, it's an active presence right there in the world, pulling you along for the ride. You feel the reality of that space because you're actually moving through it. And that makes the whole experience feel so much more personal and, well, unforgettable. So you have these incredible visual elements, but how do they all fit into the grand structure of the story itself? Because what we're talking about here isn't just a story. It's more like a carefully constructed narrative maze. And this is basically the blueprint for that maze. You start with a big question. Then you get misdirection. It's designed to actively lead you down the wrong path. After that comes the inversion. That's the critical moment where everything you thought you knew gets flipped completely on its head. And all of this, every single step, is in service of the final stunning reveal, which feels so much more powerful because of the crazy journey you took to get there. Okay, let's put it all together now. Let's synthesize all these techniques. This is it, the retention blueprint. This is how you take all these ideas and make pretty much any piece of content feel absolutely essential and totally unforgettable. So here it is, your blueprint. First, frame a central mystery. That's how you create the information gap. Then, communicate using visual metaphors. Don't just rely on words. Let your visuals do the talking. And remember to keep everything moving, even if it's subtle. Finally, build that narrative maze so you can lead your audience to a reveal that really, truly earns its impact. You know, if you only take away one single thing from all this, let it be this. It is not about what you show. It's about what you don't show. Real, true intrigue doesn't come from giving the audience all the answers. It comes from knowing exactly what to hold back. Because the questions you create in someone's mind are always, always more powerful than the statements you make. Look, these aren't just techniques for making movies. They're fundamental principles for capturing attention and creating a lasting impact in literally anything you create. So the real question now isn't about Nolan, it's about you. What will you make unforgettable?